We're ready.
I'm ready. Why not? We're ready.
Good morning, everyone. The Delaware County Commissioner meeting for October 15th, 2018 is now in session. Would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good morning, everyone. To my right is Vice President, fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis, and to my left is fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton. Our Administrator is Mike Fromer, and our Clerk Jennifer Walraven. With that, let's begin.
Resolution number 18-1114 in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held October 11th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1114. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, so that brings us to item number 4, resolution number 18-1115 in the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of Warrington batch number CM APR 1012.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1115. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1116 in the matter of a new stock request from Mill Creek Golf Course Corporation and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no requests for a hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1116. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1117 in the matter of acknowledging receipt of an application for domestic violence funds for 2019, estimating the amount of funds anticipated and allocating the same to qualified applicants, all pursuant to Chapter 3113 of Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-1117. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1118 in the matter of scheduling the special commissioner sessions for the 2019 budget hearing starting at 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, November 7th, 2018, and continuing through Wednesday, November 28th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. I think we're all looking forward to this process this year.
These 4 dates would already all be in your calendars.
Very good.
Okay.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1118. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1119 in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer improvement plans for Maple Glen.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. Maple Glen is a subdivision that's located along Africa Road, north of Plum Road. There's 14 lots in this subdivision, and these plans have met all of our requirements, so we request your approval.
Any questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1119. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1120 in the matter of approving contracts of sale and purchase for Joyce Dimovich for the property known as Dell CR 106-0.44 and for Danielle and Stacy Lobdell and Golden Salmon's Family Trust for the project known as Dell TR 99-1.79.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. We have negotiated settlement for 3 parcels. The first related to our Lewis Center and North Road project, and the last 2 for the Pyatt Road extension north of Cheshire Road, and recommending your approval.
Questions or comments?
Excuse me.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1120. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We are now on the bottom of page 58. Resolution number 18-1121 in the matter of approving the plat of subdivision for Berlin Manor Section 1, Nelson Farm Section 2, Phase C, Part 2, Grace Haven, Haslow, Heather Ridge subdivision, section 1, and 4 Doctors Drive.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion?
The plats for each of these subdivisions has been approved by all the required county agencies. It looks like the total number of single-family lots is about 83 lots, so you can tell that the development world is very busy right now. This is a good indicator, so. And then the ditch maintenance petition, I'm sorry, that's the next item. Fast forward.
Any questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1121. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1122, in the matter of approving the ditch maintenance petition and the ditch maintenance assessment for 4 Doctors Drive.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion?
This petition would place the drainage system for this small subdivision on the county's drainage maintenance program and recommending your approval.
Questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1122. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1123, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion?
We had 3, excuse me, 3 permit applications. We reviewed the plans for the proposed work and recommend your approval.
Questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1123. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1124, in the matter of approving a cooperation agreement between Delaware County and Delaware City for the project known as US 23 and Glen Parkway Peach Blow Road.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion?
This agreement involves construction of a new traffic signal at the Glen Parkway and US 23 intersection. We've been working on this for some time with ODOT and the city to make this happen, given that the Career Center, excuse me, the Career Center is consolidating at the South Campus, thereby increasing the traffic, and we're going to have a lot more students using this intersection. And so we have basically arrived at a project and an arrangement where the county, as we traditionally do, would match the city's contribution towards the project, and then ODOT will be providing, basically this is about a $200,000 project. The city and the county would be each contributing about $50,000 towards the project, and schedule would be to have this signal installed next year in time for the 2019-2020 school year.
Questions or comments?
So it's just a signal on 23. Peach Blow would not have a separate signal.
That's correct.
Yeah, I thought it must be related to the Career Center.
It is, yes.
Upcoming consolidation. Okay. All good.
Other questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1124. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1125, in the matter of approving the developer's agreement for Cheshire Road contribution.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion?
This agreement involves contribution for a subdivision located on Cheshire Road near the Berlin Township Hall. In lieu of constructing a left turn lane for this subdivision, the developer has agreed to contribute basically the cost they would have spent anyway doing that work, and our plan is to roll that contribution into a county-initiated project that we'll do sometime in the next 3 to 4 years to widen Cheshire Road to a uniform 3-lane section that would go from Pyatt Road to Old State Road. And so we would, I think, end up with a better improvement, something that serves that whole section of road, and we think it's a win-win
Probably make for
for
better coordination and,
yes.
any other questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1125. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1126, in the matter of approving a project agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation for installation of guardrail on Sunbury Road.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Lewis, seconded by Commissioner Benton, discussion?
We have received a grant from Ohio Department of Transportation through the County Engineers Association to upgrade some old outdated guardrail on Sunbury Road, just south of the village of Galena, and the grant will pay 100% of that cost. This agreement basically just calls out the responsibilities of the county and ODOT in that arrangement. We would bid the work this winter and then do that work in the spring or summer next year.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 1A-1126. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Brings us to the top of page 75. Resolution number 18-1127, in the matter of approving a quitclaim deed to reconvey county real property on County Home Road paid for county highway purposes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
This resolution involves dedicating right-of-way for a large culvert replacement. I believe you just acted on that, the bid for that contract last week. Basically, this is county-owned property that would be dedicated as right-of-way. The reason we want to do that is in the event the county, for whatever reason, would dispose of that property in the future. That way, this right-of-way would remain, and we would be able to maintain the structure.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1127. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-1128, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract between the Delaware County Commissioners and Shelley and Sands Incorporated for the project known as Del CR 106-00.44 Lewis Center Road and North Road Improvements Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
This is the project we've been talking a lot about over the last 6 months or a year. So we have received the bids for this project. The low bid was from Shelley and Sands, whom we've worked with many times, and they do very good work. The bid was about 7% under the engineer's estimate, and so we're very happy to recommend award to Shelley and Sands. And then construction schedule on this, we would plan to start clearing the trees to allow for utility work very soon, and then break ground on the road work next spring, and then with the goal of wrapping up all of the road work by October of next year.
What about maintaining traffic while this construction is going on? I drive right through there a lot. So-
Yes. The maintenance traffic sequence is a little bit complicated. Basically, we start work on North Road. We will have to close North Road to through traffic. We'll maintain access to all the work zone residences, of course, but while we're doing that, Lewis Center will remain open to traffic. And that, again, I would expect that to start in April. That'll take about 2 months. And then in June, as soon as school is out, we will have to close the intersection at Lewis Center and North Road to build the new roundabout. And that will take about 2 months as well. So that'll take us through the summer. And then the final phase would be about another 2 months near the Weeping Rock subdivision. So basically west of North Road, that section will have to close, but the North Road to Lewis Center movement will remain open while that's closed. So we're kind of going I guess a clockwise sequence around that intersection. And unfortunately, because of the modifications we're making to the height or the profile of the road, there's really no good way to keep that road open while we're doing the work. Plus building a roundabout, that's very difficult to do, maintaining traffic. So.
I think I'm stating the obvious, but Lewis Center Road to the church would still be open for access to the church?
It will. One of the two entrances will always be open.
But even when you close it off of the roundabout, they would still have that entrance on Lewis Center available?
Yes, the roundabout work will basically go right up to the driveway on Lewis Center Road. Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1128. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-1129, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for municipal court.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Karen First, Fiscal Manager. This supplemental is needed because additional visiting judges have been utilized in the court this year, so there's been an increase in salaries and benefits, and the quarterly reimbursements for the prosecutor's services have also increased.
Questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1129. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
We have another
We
resolution?
We do have another business item for a travel expense for a procurement card balancing today for Economic Development Department. Resolution number 18-1130, in the matter of approving a travel expense request.
So move.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-1130. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
And that brings us to administrator report.
Commissioners, I have nothing to report this morning.
Commissioner Bidden?
Went to Morpsey Thursday afternoon. There were a couple interesting topics discussed there. The Competitive Advantage Project program that we did, was it 2 years ago, I think we did, roughly? Yeah. They are looking for an update to that project, to the project priority list that we prepared. So we'll work on that. I don't think things will change much, if at all, in terms of what the projects are and the priorities. But they'll do that over the next couple months. COSI, the CEO of COSI spoke. They've got a lot going on. It's a very exciting place. They've got a science festival that they put on every May. Next year is May 1st through the 4th. And they are encouraging local communities to participate, and they take their science festival on the road for a day. So I'm hoping that we can get them to come to Delaware, and apparently it's very well received, very well attended, and a lot of fun. So anyway, that's something we can work on. PIM is having their annual meeting and luncheon tomorrow, so I assume that we'll be going to that. And then the biggest news is Topgolf is opening Friday at 9 o'clock officially.
Oh.
So if you want to camp out, you're going to have to do that Thursday night. If you want to be the first to hit the first ball off the tee. So Thursday night, you need your tent and campground set up. Just one other thing, I guess I would like to say that Browns probably aren't going to the Super Bowl after all. I probably spoke a little early last week when I was talking about the Browns going to the Super Bowl. So, at least this year. So, anyway, that's all I got.
Ms. Lewis?
Regarding issue 1, the Ohio Office of Budget and Management issued their fiscal analysis, which they're required to do for ballot proposals. And it is the major things that they found, and I'm quoting here, are that the amendment, issue 1, will not produce significant savings. The amendment could actually increase costs to the state by tens of millions of dollars. The amendment would add costs for local governments that would not be covered by the amendment, and that there is no addiction to prison pipeline. The analysis states that there were 1,600 felony 4 and felony 5 offenders sent to prison in fiscal year 2018, whose most serious offenses were drug possessions. That number is projected to drop to 1,200 in fiscal year 2019, fewer than 14 people per county. And so the opposition to issue 1, such as we are too, will be using this fiscal analysis. I think Commissioner Merrill already commented on the fact that this was not, issue 1 was not going to give us any extra money.
Well, and the advocates for it in our meeting said it would just be using the savings. If there's no savings, it really kind of makes this a very,
Yeah.
it means that it is going to be passed down to the counties.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes,
the word I like to use is disingenuous.
yes, yes. absolutely. And our Justice and Public Safety Committee for CCAO met on Friday, and we came up with committee priorities. Among them are that the state should assume complete responsibility for indigent defense, and that's really our top priority. And this will be going to the executive committee, or the full board, I should say, of CCAO, and then you will be voting on it. Commissioner Merrill's on this. You'll be voting on it this Friday. So it was a very good meeting. We actually had the public defender, Tim Young, for the state of Ohio, very, very knowledgeable. He's been there over 10 years, and mentioned how underfunded that indigent defense is these days. And of course, you know, this bears directly upon what we have to spend as a county. That's it.
I believe the counties only get reimbursed about 40% of the.
That's right. He mentioned 42%.
Which is
that
far,
were
long ways
reimbursed.
from 100%.
It used to be 50 and used to be even higher than that, and they've
Right, it
eroded
just,
that.
yeah, so it just keeps going down for the counties, so it's definitely, we had unanimous agreement on this and the other resolutions that we passed, so.
And the defenders are pushing for higher rates on the attorneys, which would just increase the costs. as well.
Yes,
The public defender's office is pushing for higher rates.
right, yes. We didn't really talk about that too much.
Yeah, that's kind of in the
but,
background, but
But yes, I mean, there's certainly going to be more costs, but it was a very interesting discussion, having the public defender actually there who could give us a lot of more information that we even had before. So it's a good meeting. So now it's in your hands.
Which means I won't be at Topgolf Friday because CCO, so you'll have some balls for me. I
is
guess.
it, what time is
10
it?
o'clock.
10. Well, you could be there for the first shot.
Probably not.
You gonna camp out?
I'm certain not. But that's a great addition to our county, Topgolf. You hear a lot of people comment about it. It's one of those things that will bring people to our county. I think not only will they spend money there, I think the opportunity to spend it at some of the retailing in the area is only going to be good for us, and look forward to it. I have a couple things I'll mention. Regional Planning Executive is Wednesday morning. I'll be attending that. Today, I have not attended Rotary about 2.5 months due to circumstances, I'll say beyond my control. People could debate that, I suppose. And we have a speaker today who's going to speak on the foster care. She spoke to foster care group back in April or May. I was so impressed with her comments. I asked her to speak to Rotary, and this happens to be the day, so I will be there to introduce her. And Mr. Anderson will be there as well, but I think he'll be a good follow-up to a future program. We can talk about the foster care program, but today we'll hear about from someone who's participating in the program. I think we all got email this weekend regarding the Riverby project, so I think we'll wait to hear more on that as more becomes known to us. Attended 2 conference calls Thursday afternoon. I tell you, I'd rather be in person than on the phone or a conference call. It's hard to hear, and so I had one for CCAO for ELU, energy, environment, et cetera, and then followed that was a Morpsey leadership conference call. So my afternoon was spent literally on the phone, involved in those conversations. And I believe that's it. And I think we do have need for executive. We'll make a note that we will also be coming back this afternoon for appointments, and we'll have a extension of our executive session this afternoon. But for this morning's program,
Resolution number 18-1131, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of promotion and compensation of public employee or public official.
So moved.
Second.
motion made and seconded, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-1131. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
With that, we are now in executive session.
Wow, yeah, we've got a lot of.
Resolution number 18-1132, in matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-1132. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
That we are,
We, don't believe we have any other business to bring before us this morning. We are going to recess to 1:25 this afternoon, where we will then have appointments in our executive session. Okay, we are now in recess.
resolution number 18- reconvening of October 15th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-1133. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right, you are in executive
So
session.
we're back in session, and we understand we need to go into executive session.
Yes. Resolution number 18-1133, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment of a public employee or public official.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-1133. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. We are now in executive session.
Resolution number 18-1134, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
You going to second it?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-1134. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
If there is no objection, you may hit the
Bang the
gavel
gavel.
and adjourn. There you go.